Second attempt.
Entonces estamos en vivo, Román.
Yo creo que sí.
Entonces.
Hey, I think we're back. There we go. Take away the introduction.
Okay.
Like,
I think so. Check.
yeah, I think so. So we are in Bitcoin Beach. It's time for Bitcoin Beach, Bitcoin Beach, Bitcoin Beach with Jorge Valenzuela and John Bellis.
And
Román Martinez, aka Chimbera.
we need to know the meaning of Chimbera.
Chimbera means a little fish.
And what's the significance behind that nickname?
When I was a kid, I born next to the river because my grandfather take care of that property for 60 years. So I grew up with them and I was all the time swimming in the river. People call me Chimberita.
That's why you're such a strong swimmer today.
Yeah.
Didn't even need your goggles. You gave them to me so I could swim.
Yeah, we're good with the people that visiting that.
You are. So I don't really know what to discuss today, but I think the first thing to discuss is these jungle runs that we've been doing, right? So I think people need to know that you guys aren't just like, Bitcoiners and doing a lot of great work and promoting Bitcoin in El Salvador, but you guys are savages doing these 100-minute jungle runs every 4 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever it is. Yeah. When did that start? When did you guys start doing that? I know you were later to the run, right?
Yeah. No, we started this like I think 4 years ago. We started training for stay a lifeguard, like a professional lifeguard.
Yeah.
So we start training for stay a lifeguard. But when you just only swim, I think you can like I would say your arms, your feet, and everything. But when you are on the mountain, it's something different, super more stronger. Like you need more strong. So we start to mix mountain and swim. So me and Fausto, we make this for, I don't know, maybe for 2 months. After we are really good swimmer, stronger. So we say, nah, this is nice. So we continue more and then more people start to come with us to the mountain and we run just few minutes, like 100 minutes.
It's the best. 6 a.m. and wake you up, you feel strong and good.
And then drink coffee.
You wait for people to catch up sometimes, And
then drink coffee and start to work.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And this is how we start the day.
It's awesome. Yeah. And when did you start joining?
Well, yeah, I in the beginning, I was not part of the lifeguard training, right? Because I'm already a lifeguard, have the certificate. And that was a project that we started for local kids that they can start to having like a job too. So, and that project that started, we certificated like, I think around 60 people. Yeah. And that's project from there is that Bitcoin Beach have been sponsoring like a lifeguard program that goes from La Libertad to Sonte. And for the first time, El Salvador had lifeguards, professional lifeguards, every day at the beach with
the first time was here.
Yeah, with a salary, because before that, to be a lifeguard in Salvador was a volunteering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people cannot live from that.
Yeah.
So that have been like one of the projects that started like this, but it took like big, and they have been saving like life, in the last 5 months. Wow, I don't know, the results are like,
but every week they have more than 5-6 persons.
Yeah. And for example, during the vacation, we used to hear, those days that the waves are big, and in the afternoon you used to hear, oh, someone just drowned, pass away. And this time for the last 5 months, it have been like great, and that's the work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you both grew up in Zonte, right? So have you guys known each other forever?
Yes.
Did you grow up as friends?
Yeah.
Are you similar age?
He's older.
Yeah.
Right. So you knew him growing up and stuff.
He's viejo.
It's
No,
got, I know
I'm 32.
yesterday we were talking about like kind of the whole history of how all this came to
Yeah.
be. And I want to talk about that, but what's it been like over the last year? So you guys have been doing like lots of other projects for many years,
Yes.
right? Like, and the lifeguard is an example of that maybe. And you're seeing, you're just, I think you have good hearts and you want to do good in the community and you want to help people and you've been doing this stuff. And then the Bitcoin thing happens, and that's the story we'll tell in a sec. But what's it been like the last 6 months, 8, 9, 12 months? But now, like, this really small town, Zonte, is tiny town, is now like famous almost.
Yes.
And, everyone's coming through and you're wanting to talk to you guys and hear about the story. And, you got all these foreigners coming through Hope House here to talk to you. Like, what's the change in attention been like? Because before you just like humbly helping, doing good things. But now it's like the spotlight is way on. How has that changed? I know you were in the fancy sunglasses and stuff now, so you're a little bit Hollywood as a result. But what's it been like with all the new attention?
Well, for us, like really don't having changing nothing. Like it's just that the dream that we had before, it was for changing our community, changing El Sonte, and we see like the good result that the Bitcoin adoption in our community had, and in the last 2 years, we have been talking with many people trying to explain that, that if his work in Sonte, if he was working in Sonte, we work for El Salvador, for a country. But for us, the only thing that changed that now we have more work, like now to also in the beginning, like I think many people towns or we think also that Bitcoin Beach should lead the education program in El Salvador, and we were like so packed, preparing all the material, all the videos, all the things,
before all the hype.
No,
like, when it happened. Yeah.
Because we were thinking we need to do it, but it took like like some time to understand that now it's not anymore about us.
Right.
It's not anymore about Bitcoin Beach. It's not anymore even for just El Salvador. It's for everyone. And now I think that's the reason. That's why you are here today too, because we all the Bitcoiner in the space have and feel that responsibility that El Salvador need to be successful. And from there, we start to being not relaxing, working, keeping doing, because we're running like 21 projects here or more, but focusing in the education in our side, in the part that we can do, and receiving help and people coming and help El Salvador, So that's from my side, what I see.
What about you? What's it been like?
No, I think like when we started a lot of years ago, but how we meet with Bitcoin, it's amazing because we are held different social project with fiat, with money, but one day we don't have more money. So we start to use Bitcoin almost 3 years ago now. So when we start, it's not just take the Bitcoin and you can say, okay, now I have money, I have Bitcoin. But how the people can understand Bitcoin in El Salvador.
Yeah.
So this is two different ways we need to walk. One is explain people how Bitcoin works, and why Bitcoin is good, and how the shop, the stores can accept the Bitcoin. So the first place who accepted Bitcoin is my mother place. So, and then everybody see how the Bitcoin is good.
What's her place?
It's
a restaurant or something?
She said like a pupusas, typical food, and
Mama Rosa.
Mama Rosa.
That's your mom's place?
Yeah.
So we had pupusas there the other day.
Yeah. So this is the place where we start. But we start this project almost 15 years ago with Michael Peterson, Irving Palma, Roman Centeno, and me. And we are like a nice dreamers. So our dream is change El Salvador. And now, we almost made it in
So-
different areas.
So let's go back there before we come back to the Bitcoin stuff. But like, what motivated either of you
Okay.
living in El Zonte 15 years ago or however long it was to like, what were you trying to do?
Okay, perfect.
Why? What's the motivation?
No, it's amazing. It's amazing the story or the testimony. We have a lot of friends here in town, but I remember they have the opportunity to cruise the border. And I think we know how the opportunity to cross the border because we know how the money to pay the guy for cruise the border. So for some reason I feel jealous because I know can cruise. And then I see too like, but why I need to go? And this is my area.
So
where I work.
15 years ago, you were just thinking like, why
No,
should-
when I am 12 years ago, because the life is so hard in this area.
Uh-huh.
So we say, nah, I say, for me, it's not possible to cross the border because we don't have money. So I'm very more focused to make
Cross the border to where?
to the USA, for example.
To go work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make money, make
Yeah.
life, make dreams.
Mhm.
So the plan is every Salvadorian want to cross the border. And for us, it's the same dream. But we start here and we see some opportunity. We always make friends and we are super friendly. And it's why everybody called Chimberita always when we are looking for him. He's on the river, jumping, swimming, and we always run eating mangoes on the river, swimming. So this is, so every our friends cross the border and we think for sure we want to. But and then I start to understand I wanna stay in my community. I wanna stay in town. And I wanna start to learn more about the life before start to try to create my future. And then I understand money is important, but maybe you can have money, but you need help in other areas.
Mhm.
So I want to stop in my life and to see and understand how the life work. If I cross the border, I can have a lot of work, but I don't have my mother, my family, my parents,
Mhm.
the wife, the good food,
Mhm.
but I have the money. So I need to think if I can go or if I prefer to stay. So I change my life, my mind, and say, nah, I stay here.
Yeah.
So we start to work in cultive corns and different kind of job. And one day when I am, I think almost 17 years, I meet with my wife, Christina, and I am in the school. And then we start to think in the same page for the future. And then I start to understand about the life. So, but I am a kid, I am 16, 17 years, like a big process. And then I understand, like, for sure, I want to live in town.
Mm.
And then when I meet with Christina, we see it's a lot of kids in town have almost the same problem. They want to make the future super fast. So they not important like how they made it, but they want to make it. Like they running super fast to make the future. But some people in the process, they have a big problem. So we learn something like we can change the life, we can change community if we spend time. I am the first kid who understand this. I am the test. I meet with other friends more older than me, and they start to put time in me, and they start to explain me about the life. If you are a good man, for sure the life is good. If you are bad, you don't need to think why bad things come to me because it's your decision.
Mm.
So when I am 20, when I am 19, we and Christina live together, and then we have our daughter, and then we meet with Michael Peterson, and he is very focused for, I don't know why, very focused to help, like spend time in my life, in my family. And he started to explain me money is important, but it's not everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to understand more about the time,
Yeah.
spend time, help with time. So it's why I understand money is time.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to USA, I spend time for different kind of job for make money.
Mm-hmm.
But I can have my money. It's my time. I can live with my family in my community,
Mm-hmm.
help, support. And then how Jorge changed is how I imagine I can change, we can change more life. And then we explain to Irving, to Chimbera, we need to spend more time in kids. We need to start to explain about the life because they are always running and back with big problems and try to see how fix. But if we start to spend time, for sure we can change the future. And then, sorry?
I just want to say before we go on to like how things progress from there, I'm just curious, like, what was your early childhood like? You know, because in the West we hear about El Salvador, poor, dangerous. That's the perception.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people listening will have traveled enough to know, like, you hear all this stuff about a country and then you go there and it's totally different.
Yeah.
Right? Like you hear, oh my, like Colombia or Bolivia or El Salvador is dangerous and scary, and you go there and the people are amazing and everything is, you know, great. But countries have problems, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like, you know, in your youngest years? You grew up in this small town.
Yeah.
Was it a good, like, you know, happy, fun childhood? Was it dangerous? Was it deprived of anything?
I think it's really good when we kids we can run and play. It's not super dangerous. The problem is for parents, they no can save money. They no can, like, for example, some if they work a day, they make like a $5 when the dollar started in El Salvador. So with $5, you no can buy nothing.
Yeah.
But in colon, it's 40 colon. So in colon, it's more like, okay, we have colon, we can buy more food. When then it's dollar, we say, okay, $5, it's 40 colons. But everything is changing, the price go more higher. And then with 5 colons, we not can eat our family.
Colon is our currency before dollars.
Yeah, right.
Colon.
So this is why.
And so it started weakening against the dollar over time, right? Like it got cheap, it got devalued. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the kind of problem, like we can work a lot, but the money is like nothing. So this is the story for parents. They never can buy a house. They never have a car.
Were you guys aware of that? Because, you know, like when, you know, like when all of us grow up as kids, our parents try to keep the bad stuff away from us, right? They want us to be happy and support us and stuff. So they don't share the problems. Like, were you just kind of swimming in the ocean, surfing river, and not really aware of how difficult life was, or were you aware of that?
We were aware, like we were in the front line. I will add that maybe we are the result of there were some people that they moved to our community when we were kids, that they spent time with us. And I think they put in our heart that feeling to help other people. And I remember that when we were kids, they were trying to teach us English, you know, in a easy way. They put us in contact with tourists that at those years were like a few tourists that come to Sante, but we have that chance to meet with them and have that cultural change. And I remember like talking like with a Canadian guy, with a Japanese people, and say, okay, yeah, where are you from? Trying to understand, you know, at that time we didn't speak any English. Like we were like trying to communicate with them, you know. And I think that's have been our lucky on life, that Sante is always have been like a tourism place. Now it's crazy, it's growing so fast, but before surf and tourism, I will say, change and save us from many things, you know. And when we were kids, like we came from families that me and Jorge, we our first job that we had, I think I was like 12, 13 years old, and Jorge was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And he was already helping in the kitchen, and I was taking care of the property, cleaning the pool, you know,
Mhm.
and we went in the school in the morning, and then we back to work at 1 p.m. when we finish, you know, and
Yeah.
we sleep in there, like we grew up, we working, and then we put some hammocks and we sleep in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I remember like having this like some conversation with Jorge, and because we started seeing like that our parents, not our parents, our grandparents never changed the reality. Like, for example, in Sonte, there are like a few people that own houses,
Mhm.
for example, because
Mhm.
they always take care of the properties and they always do that as a job. So we start to having this conversation and say, we are going to change our reality, you know, because if we don't do it, it's going to take another generation to change. And that was our goal, you know, was our goal, kids dreaming.
Mhm.
In the end, what happened is that um, we are in that process, but we didn't write that when we started like thinking, okay, I want to change my life, but if I'm good and the rest of the people around are not good, it doesn't work. And that was the feeling when uh, our generation have that social work, right? That some people, some leaders before did in our life. But after that was a process and was like the next generation doesn't have anyone.
Mhm.
And what happened there, it was like hard, you know, hard and crazy. Like they're like the next generation after us, they didn't, they finishing in other things, you
Why
know,
did they have less than your generation?
because that it was they didn't have like a leader that spent time
So, well, I see.
in their life. And that was like the first project that Jorge started like 12, 13 years ago with Mike.
Yeah.
That was feeling the love of tank that every person have.
The love of what?
Every
The
kid have
tank.
a tank, and we say it's waiting for love. When good
A
people,
tank,
yeah, a
like
tank.
something you fill up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So the kids have a tank, and we can see it's they are waiting for love.
Right.
Like spend time again. I say the word. So we see we can put the love is we spend time. If we start to hear the story for the kids,
Yeah.
and they have a big dreams,
Yeah.
and it's and we are more older, so we can see how we can make everyone stay like a professional in different areas.
Yeah.
So we need to work the education is the goal. The kids say if they say they want to stay like a teacher, okay, we need to push and help and try to support, and they can stay teacher. So we start with one kid, his name is Dennis, I remember, and then we have a other, and then we have a 10, and now it's hundred.
200.
That you mentor
Yeah,
or work
Yeah.
with or
and they,
support in some
yeah,
way.
and they are on the university. They finished this year the university, and they speak better English
Mhm.
than me, and they are in different project, and they are the best leaders. We say they don't need or help because they walk, and with example they walk, the other kids want to walk.
Yeah.
So we feel like now you can imagine how happy we feel.
Yeah.
And this is only the social project, and how we spend 20 years of our life,
Yeah.
and we learn a lot about the life. And now we feel like now we are 30, 50 years more can come now, and we feel like we made it.
Yeah.
So, but this is not only the first thing. We help kids, and then we start to trying to find a job for people. And we have now we have more than 100 people work in different projects. And then we have a computer class and English class and different project. And then we have the lifeguard project. We employ almost 20 lifeguard. They have a really good salary, and with the salary, help just the lifeguard. He have wife and he have kids, so you can change the life for the lifeguard. And now they always, it's crazy. They always are working to help people, but the lifeguard they never have a really good salary to support his life, but they always save life. but who saved the life for the lifeguard?
Mm.
So we started to understand, okay, if you save life, we want to help your life. So you can focus in the tourist, and we want to see how we can focus in the salary for your family. So this is the area how we work. And then we have a lot, but a lot of projects, sorry. We have I think now we have almost 25 after the Bitcoin. Yeah. It's a legal tender. We have a lot of more people start to work with us. But for understand the story.
Wait, before you go on, I still got some more. First of all, I mean, as we go on our runs in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Everyone we pass know you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Always wave and hello. Like, I mean, because you've done, by the sounds of it, especially for a community so small, like a lot, right? Yeah. So people seem like they appreciate very much the contribution to the community that you guys have done.
And the good thing we learn is we never give nothing. It's time.
Right.
Yeah.
We never give nothing, because if you give something like, how do you say, physical, for sure they take for 3 days and then they lost.
Right.
If you give something they can use it for the rest of their life.
Yeah. But is it fair to say that when you guys were growing up and you're just being kids, you're working hard, you're doing what you need to do, and you got some early influences? You mentioned like a Canadian guy, Japanese guy, some tourists, that whatever that interaction was just gave you like a little something changed where you were like, oh, maybe we can do something else than what we thought we could do or that we were told we could do. And it's amazing, right? Because those little interactions, you know, for the tourists is nothing, right? I met some local kids today. We had some fun in the water, whatever. But that little conversation can totally change the course of your life. And then what you guys are doing is changing the course of hundreds or thousands of people's lives. You know, it's crazy.
I will say that everything started as a dream.
Yeah.
And we're a dreamer.
Yeah.
How Jorge say, we're a dreamer. But that came from since we were kids.
Yeah.
You know? And it's exactly that point. Imagine in our family, I think our parents, our grandparents, they stopped dreaming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they passed to our generations the same feeling that you born poor, we see in our family, John, like my father he's still a fisherman, like an oyster fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter time when the ocean is big and it's dark and he couldn't fish, I remember some days we don't have food.
Mm-hmm.
Even like a salt, you know. But I remember like going to fishing at the river or the ocean, getting like fish, and that day is the better memories that we had.
Right.
You know? But it's exactly when someone come and you need to do this work that maybe your parents don't know. I would say that the parents it's not their fault, because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But when someone come and say, okay, listen, your situation is hard, but you can change it. You can start to put that seed.
Yeah. And that's why what you guys are doing is so amazing, because like you said, I mean, children are pure, right? Like you said, like they have big hearts. Their eyes are open. I just met this girl walking down the little dirt path from the road, right? And she had a little bag of chips or something. I'm sure you guys obviously know her, but she just said, hola. And I was like, hola. And she said, ¿Cómo está? I was like, está bien, y tú? And she was like, bien. And then she goes, adios. Like when I was like past her already. And it's just such a pleasant like attitude and demeanor, right? But like you're saying, like life can grind you, right? Like your family's problems and money problems and political and environmental and all that kind of shit can make you lose the dream, make you lose that pureness, and just like really have a narrow focus on what's possible. Oh, fuck, I gotta, work in my family's restaurant for the rest of my life, or I gotta go to the States, or I gotta, like the possibilities.
Paradigm.
Yeah, the possibilities are tiny because you're in a certain paradigm. But if you, like what you guys are doing and what happened to you just by accident almost, if you can get at people when they're young, when they still have like the imagination and the dreaming, like it's burning hot and it hasn't been totally like smushed yet, and you can put some gasoline on that fire, right? You can amplify it. Then just, I mean, I love to think about this because I think about all the people that you guys gave that to, that how their interactions in their life, how it's going to spread a similar sentiment, right? Whether you want to call it love or positivity or confidence or whatever. Hope, exactly. It goes through people, right? And through 1 to 10 to 100 to 1,000, you know,
and I will say one thing, and I think for us it's really clear. We grew up thinking that for living like a life of doing one thing, there is only one way to do it, you know, and our parents or families or friends grew up thinking that that's the only way to do the things.
right.
And it's still like that for many people. And we stand up and we say, no, it have to be
Did they
another
think
way.
you were crazy? Did your parents think you were crazy? Did the community think like, who the fuck are these crazy boys, you know,
Yeah,
dreamers? They need to get back in the kitchen. They can't do anything about
Yeah.
this situation.
yeah. And the harder thing sometimes is your friends, your closer friends.
Yeah, your own.
Because when you do things and you stand up for what you believe, you're proving then that sometimes there are skews too. And people don't feel bad because you're moving forward, because you're helping people, because you're making dreaming people, but they feel bad with their own. But they or people like also like, but this is around the world, like people are two kind of people. I would say that those people that are fine with their life and they don't care like if you move forward or you do things, and they're fine with their life.
Whatever, yeah.
But are those people also that they don't do nothing, but they want that the things change. And if you want to make a change, if you want to see a change, you are that change that you want to see, and you need to get involved. Otherwise, we can be in our community seeing like, ah, yeah, we have problems. Our kids are living, they just dreaming to live to the to the USA. 3 days ago, me and Jorge, this is like a right example. 3 days ago, John, a history that happened this week. A young guy, he's maybe 22 years old. He came to us and say, uh, I get this offer to take care of this property 2 hours away from here. They would pay me 300 US for take care of this property, and I'm thinking to take it. And we sit and we say, why? This is the only chance? Our grandparents did that. My parents did that. So you will not stand up. So it's gonna take another generation for you. Your grandmother is still doing that. He say, I want to work. Okay, come. There is a work. Even in the construction for a start, but there is work. And he's like, that day it was like, we were like serious, but
also, sure we changed his life.
After the next day, we saw him and he's like, what's happened? I'm not gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay here. And how you say, a simple conversation.
Yeah.
To put them, because if that friend, that kid leave, his life is not gonna change. He's always gonna be there. And when he's gonna be 80 years old, his life passed. But I will add something. El Sonte is getting like a lot of opportunities now, like a lot of companies are moving here, but those kids need help. We don't grow up with technology. Or weakness maybe is that we're not like, we don't come from the tech part, or we don't grow up with computer. I think we have our first computer when we were like,
and we know the guy who's sitting in the computer.
Older.
I get that feeling
No,
as we run through the jungle.
No.
But we got it. That's important.
Yeah.
English is important. For me, my lucky is that I get like a scholarship for studying English. Otherwise, our parents couldn't pay for that.
Yeah.
and that's the dream, and that's the dream, and that's the dream also for Mike, that for the whole team, is that if those kids can have those knowledge
Yeah.
here, and we prepare them and we invest time for them, they will have opportunities to work here with better salary, and they will stop dreaming to leave their country.
Yeah. I'm almost surprised, like you mentioned this guy who's going to go take care of the houses. Like if I try to put myself in his shoes. He's a local kid, right?
Mhm.
If I'm a local kid and I've seen you guys, around town for the last 10 years, doing good work, helping a lot of people, being appreciated because of that. And then the last year times a million because of all this attention, I'd be like inspired as shit. I'd be like, fuck, I don't want to go and just, get another job and sit around. Like, look at these dudes, so I got to think that those conversations maybe are less and less because people are able to see what's happening. They see you have this cool place. They see the impact of the work you're doing. And you got to be a pretty shut off person not to look at that and be like, fuck, that's cool shit. Like, I don't like,
They need to have a done. Now you know the word.
Like intuition or talent, natural talent to see that. Yeah, it's and what about like the last point maybe on the history part, but we talked about like family pressure and social pressure for doing something unconventional, something different. Like, what caused you to persist? Because we're dealing with like a long time period here, right? Like 10 or 15, 10 to 15 years. And let's say, it's a difficult decision when there's so much deprivation. Like, let's say it's someone in a country like Canada and they grow up with a stable family and, money is not a big concern. Sure, they can go off and plant trees in Africa. They can do charity in Canada. They can do whatever. But in an environment like this, where it's like, there's not much extra security, like every mouth has to work for their food sort of thing. What was it like inside of you guys that just forced you to keep going and not being like, you know what, sure, we should go to the US? Like, you go, because you're smiling your face off.
No, it's something for sure I can explain, but I don't know if you guys can understand 100%. But my motivation to stay here, it's something more bigger that we no can see. So, and my proposal of my life is just to serve. So I don't need, for sure, I always explain everything.
When did you recognize that? Because that's like a very mature sentiment, right? Like I want to serve for my life. Most people don't feel that way.
I know one explain, because always when I explain this, I always cry.
Get emotional.
Yeah. So I know one explain, but when I see a lot of kids have the same problem, and I don't want to see more kids die, try to make the chance to make it. But I say I can put my life and I can die when it's the time. Maybe when I am 17, I can eat. Maybe I lose my life in my 20 because no more money, no food, no nothing. But maybe it's just my life. But I know one just continue in this town, kids not have opportunity. So it's why I remember when I have $40, I need to pay $20 for buy candy and sit with the kids. But I need to pay the electricity too for my house. So when maybe we can close the gate for our house, because in our house, everything is okay. So we can just close our gate, stay inside with our family, but outside their house, it's a lot of people, maybe they put some bad things in the heart of the kids, and then our community, it's bad community, because the good people always focus to save his space, his money. But I always explain, maybe outside my house is the hostel for my daughter.
Right.
To my daughter. But if I always try to save my space, never nothing changed. So our gate you see today always is open. There is a trampoline, kids can come to jump. So good people need to open his space and kids can use it. And it's how we can change the community. But why I make this decision is because I know how money, I know how house, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I don't have a house. I don't have a car. I don't have nothing to lose when I start.
Mhm.
So it's why I want to start.
And keep going.
Yeah. And then I see, oh wow, I have a new shoes. Surprise. I think never can buy. And then wow, I have a motorcycle. And then wow, I have this. And then wow. And now I need more finger for good. How many things do I have now?
Yeah.
But I never focus in the physical things because for sure, no, it's this is the right story, but we are very focused in the beginning, and we're not focused in the last 3 years.
That's okay. The
But
beginning is the most important
yeah,
part.
yeah, and-
Without the beginning, we don't have the last 3
yeah,
years.
and for us too, because this is the real project,
Yeah.
change life,
Mhm.
spend time. The kids need to start to have a dreams. And the new generation we have now, wow, like now we're sitting here explaining about our life. But the school is, I don't know, 60 kids learning to speak English.
Mhm.
My daughter is better than me. But
Mhm.
a few years ago, we don't have nothing. Or for example, our parents, maybe they not permit we can go to the school on the night because they think it's dangerous or something. But now everything is amazing. How many kids have a lot of opportunity, and it's crazy. I feel super old now. I'm 32, but like Ismael is 18,
Yeah.
and he's amazing.
Your
Leader.
eldest is 18?
Yeah, Ismael is one of the kids we start when he is 8 years, and now he have a ID. He drive.
Oh, you
he
mean
speak,
a kid you're helping, not
yeah,
not your
no,
not your
But-
Ismael.
But Ismael was 10 years old when he started the project,
Right.
and now he's 19 years old.
Yeah, and he's the leader.
Right.
And you know Ismael that no English, no computer class, no about Bitcoin.
He is teaching about blockchain lightning technology now for
Yeah.
all people, like people work in the banks.
Right.
He is the guy who teaching. So it's amazing. But now we are super fortunate, lucky to live in this community. And I always say, I always feel super
Grateful.
yeah, with God
Mhm.
when he permit include my life to serve.
Mhm. It's amazing.
So it's only.
Yeah.
And I always we can go try to around and come to the same place, but it's God who decide who I am.
Mhm.
And Sonte had been like a fisherman town, you know. No one have like all the families are like same, you know. And also like people used to come, like many people used to come with good intention and they help you and change people's life, you know, like Mike. But there are other people that they just come, but they never spend time. They never want to teach you how to do the things
Mhm.
because they put the local people in like in a box that they say, ah, no, the local people are more happy and they live with less.
Mhm.
So we don't need to pay them more. We don't need to teach them
Mhm.
how to do things. But the reality is that we just live in the present. And this is one of the things that
Prison.
in the present.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, present. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're living now.
Mhm.
And but if you see the problems when you're working with social project, you finish in knowing all kind of problem that family have, you know.
Mhm.
In the end, you realize that your problems or problems,
Same.
but maybe there are no problems. There are people that have real problems
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and real
sure, for
problems,
sure.
you know. And that is also like the big goal to teach the local people that they can see these opportunities here and they can have this knowledge to see it and start to do it, you know. And it's a dream, you know, it's a dream. and it took time,
Uh-huh.
but everything that you do for make kids and families here better, that they can have a better life,
Mhm.
is one of the things that you feel like more fullness.
No better feeling.
Yeah, no better
Can never
feeling.
compare it to
Nah.
money or something.
Nah.
Yeah.
When you go to sleep and maybe you have been spending time with kids and you say like what made you keep going, because sometimes it's hard when you talk to the one kid, like you need to do this, like this is the way, don't leave the school, keep going, we didn't have that chance, you have it now,
Mhm.
go to the university, there is like a person that the project will give you like a scholarship, but you have to keep doing. And some people are like, no, no, no. In that moment, you are like, okay. And then the next day, you keep doing, because
Yeah.
that's the work to do. And that's that's the reason. And that have been the reason. Like, we cannot save everyone, but if we can save one person, it's gonna be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true, man. Like I often think about this in relation to Bitcoin, because people are always like, how do we get mass adoption and everyone to understand and adopt Bitcoin for freedom and sovereignty and, prosperity and peace and all this stuff. And I never think about what I do with the podcast as education or anything. I do it because I just love these conversations. I don't really give a fuck if anybody listens, but people do listen. And like, even if just you're able to say something that makes one person like just change their perspective a bit, and it alters the course of their life. And in my case, it's mostly like people start to understand Bitcoin, and then they go down the rabbit hole and they learn a bunch about it from other resources, and it changes their life. They can do work that that is more fulfilling. They take care of their health better. They build stronger families. They just, in all these different areas, their life improves. And I agree with the sentiment. Like, again, even though it's not why I do it, if I just knew that any of this activity helped improve one person's life, I mean, you gotta think that is worth a lot. That's worth any effort that you can give. But now I want to ask you guys. So you've got you two guys with this dream and heart. I would say like hearts that want to help. Hearts that have hope in them, stuff like that. You're influenced by people in your upbringing, and then you meet Mike. I haven't met Mike, so pick up the story at that point. Like, what happens at that meeting, and how does that change the course of all the stuff that you guys were doing or wanted to do?
Yo me perdí un poco, la historia estaba enfocada en otra.
We know Mike since the first moment. I think when we met Mike for the first time, we were working together in Olas Permanentes.
Where's that?
It's a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And right in front of the beach. And he's a surfer, that had been coming here to surf. And how he told his history that he fell in love with this place, and he told to his wife, Brittany, well, we need to buy a house here. We will buy a house here. And we were working there, and Jorge had been working like more close to Mike. So I think is you're the right person to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I remember this because Jorge me, he's the reference for many things, It's that person that I will ask if I have like
need advice.
An advice.
Yeah.
And for him, I'm the person that he's gonna ask if he want like an advice, And yeah, I remember that this is and then Jorge can explain you the idea that I remember that one day he told me, listen, Mike offered me to work with him, but I don't know what to do because I have to work in Olas Permanentes.
You're both in the restaurant at this point.
Yeah. And I remember saying, we were in this house where Sharina.
Yeah. with Chile.
Having a fish.
Yeah.
And I say, well, I like him, I think he's a good person. Should go. Should take it.
Yeah.
Should start it.
Yeah, I remember when this story. So he when my daughter is, I think, 1 year, he see, I don't know, one day he explained me something about the life, but I am like running like different things, so I don't listen like very good. But after when he come to El Salvador, he always, the first thing say like, Jorge, how is your family? It's this question always. Every year when he comes, hey Jorge, how is your family? I say, nah, it's good. My daughter, it's okay. My wife, it's okay. So good. But imagine we have 100 tourists here, but just one always is very focused. Hey, how is your family? He's very focused. So this this word I explain my wife. This guy always asks me how is my family, and I always say, nah, it's good. But sometimes I'm not really good. But I say, nah, it's good. And one day he explained me like he is focused trying to find and buy property in the first year and say, wow, cool. It's a lot of property in Sonte, but I think it's no more property in front of the beach. It's more other side the street or different area. But he meet with other friend and explain. Then next year he come to El Sante, say, come, hey, I found a property. Say, where? I say, it's right in this area. It's very close to the beach. And say, oh, wow. So you want to buy? Say, no, it's already, it's my house. I say, wow. So I go for see the property and say, no, I know this property. And the first thing say, you want to work with me? And say, no, I'm working in Horas Permanentes in this kind of job. But he say, okay, I'm not living in El Salvador, but here is the key for my house. If you want to come, sleep, use my pool, everything is in your hands now. You are only the man have the keys for come to my house. And I remember never use and never go. Next year when he comes, I come, hey, he come for take the keys for open his house. I come, nah, I never been there in the house. Like, okay. But I think this kind of thing, I never use at the house. But for sure I need, but I live in El Santa, I don't want to just say bed. So I never use it, but I think he starts to think and believe in me because I never want to use it like things or something like this. I'm very like relaxed. And then next year, after 2-3 years, I come, I want to start a project in El Sonte and different area, but
that's what you said or he
said? Yeah. And he say like, if you want to come to work with me and like work with me and different kind of project. Say, okay, like I need to think because I am the guy, I have I think 17 in our team in the place where we work. So I feel like responsibility for this team. If I go, I don't know if they continue or they separate or something like this. So I'm very like focused in the team. And then I say, no, I need to wait and think. After 4 years, I remember when we sit with this Chimberita and I start to, they explain me a story and I explain my story too with Mike and then say, okay. I remember I say, I go to work with Mike, but if something is bad, you need to, you need to pay me.
You mean you have to support him if it doesn't work out?
Because I bring to Chile.
Yeah.
I bring my job to other friends.
Right.
Because he need to pay something, but he don't have money. So I say, okay, I am the boss. So I employ him and give the my opportunity to him. And then I go to Mike. And it's a long story. I don't want to explain, but it's crazy. When we start, the first cool thing I want to explain. He say like, okay, Jorge. I say, okay, Mike, I'm ready to start. When I need to start, I say, okay, you sure you want to start? Say, yeah. And in the restaurant, you don't want to continue to work. Say, no, I want to support like a few days a week, but I want to spend more time.
And the understanding was that Mike wanted to do some social projects. Yeah. Okay.
So, but we work in social projects, and her kids start to teach how surf and different things. So No, I say, Mike, okay, I'm ready to start. And I remember my first thing I need to do, it's super hard. When I say I'm ready to start, he say, okay, when you want to start? And I say, no, it's no depend of me. I don't know when you want to start. I say, okay, start next month. Say, okay. So we need to wait like a 1 or 2 weeks to start to work with Mike. And I remember the first day when I call, okay, this is the day number one. It's a house. It's just me and see the house. Everything, the construction is good. The pool is good. Everything is ready. So I don't know why he want to play me for. It's not a restaurant. It's not a hotel. It's just a house. And he say, okay, Jorge, the first thing you need to do for me is go to your house, go to your family. And this year, spend time with your wife and daughter for the rest of the year.
Wow.
It's only I need. You always focus to help people and you never try to spend time for you and your family. But please, go to your house and stay with your family. It's only the thing you need to do.
And he'll support you for the year to do that.
He say, I send you the money every month.
Wow.
So remember this guy who always say, how is your family? And then he gives you a job and say, okay, stay with your family. So this never happened.
That's crazy.
So this is the first thing. So it's when I start to learn more. Like, wow, who is this guy who wanna get support my life, my family? It's a big man. So I start to believe in here like 100%. This is the guy who wanna change my life. Like,
we'll talk about the power of good, you know, to be impacted by like a force of good like that. I mean, that transforms you, right? Like how the fuck does someone like this even exist? Like I don't know anybody.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, wow, we have a lot of opportunity now. But I remember when we started, it's like nothing. So this is Mike, and this is how we started the social project.
Did you actually just take the year, or I get a sense for someone like
3 months?
Yeah,
3
I get
months.
a sense you couldn't do it for.
No, we stayed 3 months, and then Christina, my wife, surfs, so we start to surf.
You call up Mike, she's like, "Yo, my wife is sick of me. We need to start doing some work."
No, we just 3 months, and then it's crazy because after this, I remember we have a little car. He have a little car, so I started to use his car and go for work another area in Punta Mango. We start to build in construction. So I really love physical work. So I go for the construction. I remember it's a big mountain. It's hard to find where is the property. Maybe we are building in other property, but now we are in the right property because it's a mountain. No electricity. And I say, wow, why I change my work now? It's nothing here. I need to build everything. But now we have I think 35 beds there. It's a big construction. It's a nice pool. And it's another place we use it for missionaries. So they use it. But this is almost the story how we start everything. So Mike start to explain more about the life, why it's crazy how he teach me about the life. And the first thing he explained me is when you want to have a decision, maybe you are like ready, you have your decision, like ready to say, but stop and think one more time. If you want to say, okay, or you say, nah, I prefer way. But sometimes we say before, everything look like amazing.
But the feeling is wrong.
Yeah. Or maybe after a few days, it's everything is crazy. And it's more hard to make the decision in this moment. So yeah, I learned from Mike. So I learned about Mike this. So he changed my life. He changed our life.
Yeah.
And he continued to change life.
Yeah.
And we start to support after maybe we are just working in construction or working for something, but we continue making our social project. And he said, "No, if you need time for go for some area, you can take 2, 3 days more." And then he starts to explain me, "Nah, you are the community needs you guys. You need to work and help."
I
And
feel,
then,
sorry, go ahead.
and then we change almost. We are focused in this area, and then we almost destroy everything, and we say, "Okay, no, going this way."
Almost destroy what?
Because we are focused more like buy properties, make hotel or something like this in the beginner.
You and
But-
Mike, the project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and then we are not selling property. We know how.
But that wasn't,
hotel-
that was just a business project, not a social
Yeah,
project, right?
But and then me and Mike, we understand a good project we can make money,
Mhm.
but we need to change life.
Yeah.
And this is more important. And we always say, me and Mike say, you can have a lot of money, but if you don't have a God in your heart, you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like Mike is one of those guys downstairs. We were talking about Atun, right? Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Atun.
A ton?
Remember?
Don.
Dun. So Dun.
Yeah.
No,
sorry.
no. This is a word we,
But he looked at you
He is.
and he was like,
he is.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. Like he looked
he
at
is.
you, and of all the people that he interacted with
Yeah.
on his trips, he was like,
He finds.
something.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
something
it's
got it.
why I'm very focused trying to explain you
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Don.
He understands.
Yeah, quick.
So
So this is the story. Almost now, more than 20 years of their life.
yeah, so I mean, I don't want to skip if there's something you want to cover, but take me up. So like we know how you guys got together. Take me up to the moment Bitcoin comes on the scene. I don't mean this year, but like
Perfect.
17 or 3 or
No,
4 years ago. You were
3
telling me
years ago.
yesterday. Yeah.
So when we start everything in the community and different area, and Mike is working with missionaries too. It's a lot of missionaries living in El Salvador, helping different areas and the different communities in El Salvador. What I remember one day is Mike explained me like, wow, we have a lot of projects. Every month we have a different project we want to start. But when we finish the first, like the kids go to the school, we always continue this for how many years more. And we always say, and then we want to help for the university, but when we close, when we finish, and then always have a new project, and then new. And now I already explained you like before we start the last big project we have for help families. But the one day he say we need to focus in the real project we really want to support because
We're running out of resources.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
no more money. So
Mhm.
we need focus like what kind of project.
Where was the money coming from for all those projects before?
This is the how to say the respuesta,
The answer.
the answer. So we have a lot of friends around the world, like churches, different churches.
Right.
They have and
Donations.
donations, communities. So they really wanna build El Salvador something cool.
Got
They
it.
say it's a missionary there. They have a ministry they call community build.
Mm.
So we are part of the community build to change this. So they are 3 or 4 guys from USA. They are really good, man. They really love this community and they always make a party or something to fund money and send for the kids for go to the school.
Cool.
So this guy, but one day Mike say like, it's crazy. We don't have more money for continuing. So we can continue the next few months, but not with 20 project, maybe with 5.
Mhm.
And then he said, but we have this other, we have our other friends who have a company. In this company, it's other guys who have a Bitcoin. So he really wanna send some SAT to the social project. But like a other guy who wanna donate like $500. But it's okay, he can send $500 and make say, we can receive the $500, but with $500, we not can move nothing.
Mm.
Because it's Bitcoin, I don't know, maybe Mike say he can take and change and give the dollars for support the community. But and then other guys say wanna help too in Bitcoin. And then other guys say he wanna support in Bitcoin too. And then one of I remember Christina, she worked for trying to find friends who want to support university, school, and different projects. And they want to support too in the same month. They want to support in Bitcoin. So Mike say, we don't have more money, Jorge, but we have a friend who want to send Bitcoin. And I say, hey, Mike,
what's Bitcoin?
Yeah.
And I say, no, I hear when I am in the hotel, some people want to pay me in Bitcoin a few years ago, but it's not possible. I never know about Bitcoin, so I never can say, okay, give me the Bitcoin in the restaurant. So I say, Mike, hey, I hear about Bitcoin, but how this work? And we sit like a 5 minutes with Mike saying, no, this is a blockchain, this is the wallet, and when they send, you receive and then go and pay. And
was Mike a Bitcoiner then, or he just learned about it because people wanted to donate?
He's reading a few years ago about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think he invests, but it's hard to move Bitcoin to El Salvador and make people use it for real.
Yeah.
So we have two problems. It's the Bitcoin and how the people understand Bitcoin and how they can accept and use it.
You gotta bounce him?
Yeah.
So when Mike explained me, say, no, we can start to teach people to use it and how it work. And then we start to use it and we are a dreamer. Why not? So we opened my mother's place and I go for pay pupusa with kids, and then we start to use it with my wife. We go to spend Bitcoin.
And this was like 2018, 17, something like that?
No, it's 2018.
Right.
So and then we start to use it, and my mother see when we started like I don't know, 7,000, 9,000, the cost of Bitcoin. And then she see like, wow, it's a lot of money. Like,
right.
And then other store come and see how this Bitcoin work, and she explained, and then it's a lot of people who use accepting Bitcoin. And then we can use a Bitcoin in our social project because every other using accepting Bitcoin. Right. So we make the goal, and then we have a lot of people in Twitter. They send a lot of money, like for the people who accepting Bitcoin, and now it's a lot of people who want to help and support the projects, but they want to send Bitcoin.
Right.
And now we make something more bigger. Now it's a legal tender.
Right.
Yeah. So we can buy a car.
I want to ask you about that. How much time you got left?
I will see that we need to have a second series. This is like, because usually you took one really good side of our history, and it's beautiful, that you're right there and people know, because I think it has to be a lot from where we were, from when we were kids, everything that is happening now.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you. I maybe I have another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll get through it in 10.
Yeah.
So when this happens, right? You get the donations coming in Bitcoin. You say, we're dreamers. We're going to use it. We're going to teach the community how to accept it, so we can really use it, not just convert it or whatever. And so that's 2017, 18, 19. And so it's kind of like an important part of the project, right?
Yeah.
Because the bulk is the majority of the donation Bitcoin after that point. The majority of the money you have to work with is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to figure out how to use it and how to support the projects. And then you guys, I assume, learn about Bitcoin and start thinking, this is interesting.
Yeah.
You start understanding why it's important, all that kind of stuff. And so what was going on right before, everything happened with Strike and Jack and all of that kind of stuff? Like, was it just business as usual for you guys? More projects, donations coming in with Bitcoin?
Yeah, I would say that for us, Bitcoin have been the tool that we have been using for making more projects. How Jorge said, like for us, like it was like, okay, it's Bitcoin, more project. We can pay for more English classes,
right? For
more computer classes, for more scholarships for kids to go to the university. But what Bitcoin bring in the reality, it was access to many things that we never had, you
Like
know,
what?
like access to transact digitally for the first time. When we went like and tried to open the local business here was like, for us, it was to open like a place where the families or the people that were working and receiving their salaries on Bitcoin have like a place to spend their sats. But in the reality, it's like we were bringing to that little shop, to that little merchant, the opportunity to transact digitally for the first time. Not us, Bitcoin. We started to seeing people saving for the first time because the majority of the people from El Sonte who didn't have like a bank account. So, but we grew up listening like, for saving money, you need to put it in the bank. But if you don't have access to that, so
it's interesting that, you know, because you say you're getting the donations to fund the social projects, but for that to work, you know, for you guys to be able to spend it as money to fund stuff, people have to accept it. You know, they have to be like, yeah, I'll take the Bitcoin.
yeah.
And so I'm amazed that so many people were like, yeah, sure, I'll take the Bitcoin, because even now, most people are like, I don't know what Bitcoin is. Like, give me US dollars instead, you know?
Yeah.
And also in a place like this, people can't save very much, right? You make money and you spend it, like you were saying before. You don't have like a, you know, big amount of savings. So it's amazing that that process initiated people willing to accept it and then starting to save and connecting to the digital economy and stuff.
Buying like an asset for the first time, you know. And to also in the last 2 years, El Sante have been like in the focus of many companies, many people
for
that,
Bitcoin.
that are in the space that here like that in this little beach that
people are using Bitcoin.
Perfect wave, warm water all around the year, and that you can pay and buy almost everything with Bitcoin. So we have been having like many people through these 2 years, you know, like really like people that want to come and want to come to live that experience. Like, for example, like maybe there are many people around the world that maybe they have like a lot of Bitcoin, but they never transact with their own Bitcoin. So when they come here, the perception of that changed too. Because for many people all around the world, Bitcoin just representing like an asset, you know?
Not money.
Not money. For us, it's like wake up, buy a coffee, buy a lunch, buy dinner, and pay with Bitcoin, you know? And so that had been like, wow, I don't know how many people we have been receiving in these years. And also like when when Bitcoin Beach bring the first ATM here, that was another thing, you know, was the first Bitcoin ATM in Sonte. But we don't have a normal ATM.
Right.
When tourists can come here and say, hey, I need money, where is the ATM? Down there, you know? And they go, yeah, but it's a Bitcoin ATM, you know?
Right.
And they have been also like many people from San Salvador coming to the beach and buy Bitcoin from the ATM and come to the community and spending. Tourism coming and spending. So that was the also like that made possible to have like a circular economy. And people have been learning through these 2 years that now some small merchants in the community, you go to them and you also have like dollars and Bitcoin. So how you gonna pay? Dollar, no Bitcoin, you know?
Right.
Now they want it,
And the other really good thing is when we start to accept why like we accept in Bitcoin, I use a Bitcoin because if you want to open a bank account in El Salvador, you need to have your ID. So you can open when you are 19 years old.
And like a minimum deposit too or something, right? Someone was telling me
$30.
recently.
But when the kids start to learn to save money, never.
Right.
because they don't have access.
Yeah, it's
So
way too late by the time you're
Yeah.
19.
Yes.
You could
No.
start learning when you're
So it's
7.
amazing too.
Yeah.
It's hard
To
for
thi-
us.
Well, also to think about, you're talking about
Yeah.
time all the time,
Yeah.
right? To start thinking about time and money and
Yeah.
how they're so related and how they can influence your life and how you spend your time.
Yeah. So no, it's other thing why we use it, because kids start to accept and save money.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of companies start to come, like Strike is one of the company come, but with Jack Mayer, but with Jack or not Jack, it's not important. We can continue the life.
Right.
Jack is a guy who needs to sit and start to think about the life, how the life work.
Yeah.
And for sure, we are made in this kind of social project for a long time, and we just want to live in community, spend time with community, help community, and support community. This is the more important for us.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of more companies who start to come to El Salvador and start to spend time in community.
Yeah.
And teach people how the life work, why it's important, why Bitcoin is better than fiat. So this is the kind of company we need. Come and spend time and
100%.
health education for the Salvadorian people.
Yeah. So Jack noticed what was going on in Bitcoin Beach and just was inspired himself to do even more.
Yeah.
And that's how all this happened. Last 2 questions. I know you got to go. So be quick, both of you. What was your reaction to what's happened since, with the legal tender law and the president taking note and this huge historic change happening because of the work that you guys have been doing? I mean, it's crazy.
Mhm.
And a second part of that question is, what do all those people, when you were younger, they were like, guys, what are you doing? You're wasting your time, you're all this stuff. Now they're like, I mean, you guys are kind of like rock stars, right? Because you were the reason why there's big changes coming to El Salvador. Now, maybe for the people that aren't happy about the change, maybe you're not so not so popular. But for a lot of people, it's like, wow, these fucking kids that used to swim around on the river, now the president is doing what they said was a good idea, or what they've been doing. So, I know you guys got to run. So give me your impression of the last few months.
For us, when we start to see the benefit in the community, we start to dreaming that can help like kids to dreaming in El Salvador.
Yeah.
And we see it with many people and say, listen, our kids are saving money, or small merchants are transacting digitally. Families are buying like for the first time in the history, like one asset. And now they have freedom, they have hope because of Bitcoin. It's happening in the community. So that's can help El Salvador. But that was like the dream, now the dream that we say like, yeah, that's gonna happen for sure. One day will happen. We don't know when, but we hope that this is gonna happen. And I say talk with many people, many people about it. But when that happened, we cry.
Of course,
I
cried when I heard the announcement.
We cry. I call Mike, I call Jorge, I call Irving, I call everyone, and we say, "Did you see what?" Because some.
Did you know anything about the announcement?
No.
Wow.
So it was like, really, yes, it's happening. It's happening, and that thing, and I don't know. It was like exciting, sad, but I don't know. It was
Why was it sad?
I don't know. No sad. Maybe sad is not the word, but it was like
emotional.
But like we were falling in love with the process.
Right.
That we wake up in the morning and we were like, this is gonna be. We're gonna fight because we believe in this. And from the next day, you wake up and you say,
what now?
Yeah, he's now,
we did
it. We need to
find to go for sure. Everything is ready.
We need to find another goal.
Right.
But of course, that was like the thing. And now education is the biggest challenge. And from that, we have been more busy working in education, receiving companies, people. But news that wanna come and wanna hear, wanna get the history. People call us and say, "Can you tell us the secret? Because we want to start something similar." You gotta say like, "You want the secret? Okay, we need to have like a long conversation
15
about,
years
yeah.
ago, this is what we started doing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So now after when the no, not after, before when we start the using Bitcoin, when like Roman accepted Bitcoin, it's like wow, Chimbi is using Bitcoin, and then other friends is using Bitcoin. So I feel like oh wow, more of our friends are using Bitcoin. Then it's other, and the stars start accepting. So for us, every day is like wow, 2 more, 5 more, 10 more. So it's a circular economy. So we see super happy, and our dream is El Salvador using Bitcoin. So it is our goal. But como like how Chimbera say, one day we wake up and it's a legal tender. So we say, wow. We imagine this happen like maybe in 7 years.
Yeah.
But no, now you
And
in September you can go and buy your car with paying Bitcoin.
what was the response from the community in Zante? I mean, they know these young kids their whole life trying to do this thing, and this happens. They must have been like, you know, they must have been proud of you guys at
Yeah,
least, right?
but now in like I don't know, few minutes, you know our story. So we are not the guy who want to stay like in front, like como like ¿cómo explicas esto? Las personas que siempre quieren ganar toda la atención.
You don't want the
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah, we are
sure,
not the
sure.
men like we want to stay like we are the men, we are the guy.
Of course.
Yeah, I remember in the first day when we with Mike start to think how we can take a ATM for the Bitcoin to El Salvador.
Yeah.
We started the process, and I remember in the government saying, "No, this is a crypto machine." I say, "Okay, take it." And I come to Del Sonte with the ATM. So yeah,
the ATM still in Jorge's name.
Where is it downstairs?
No, it's in another side, but it's
Yeah.
it's the thing. It's in his name, and it's just one part that now there is a company that is running the ATMs,
Right.
and like a weeks ago they come and say we need to sign the paper because we wanna like not take it back, but it's like we want the and we say and we say no, we want that ATM to stay in our family, you know. It's gonna be
when you come to El Sonte, you see always.
That's
This
amazing.
is
Be like an altar someday.
yeah.
Last question, I promise. I know you got to go. Has the president contacted you guys to say anything, or
no
he doesn't say, "Hey guys, I just want to say this is awesome."
No, we never had any meeting
Right.
before in any meeting now.
Because we are waiting for him.
We're waiting for him, but he say like many times that Bitcoin Beach, we are the example, you know, the pioneers, the dreamers.
Yeah.
And but how you know we are like a NGO that we empowerment kids, and that's our dream, and we cannot be to this side or to another side. Now we have the same dream, and that's beautiful because it's not about Bitcoin. It's not about the government. It's not about anyone. Bitcoin is about.
It's not about politics.
Bitcoin, and we need to trust Bitcoin. Because that's technology, it's engineering technology that bring hope, freedom, and that's why like many people need to be more open. That is beautiful. It's a dream, you know, that our country, our president, I think he made the right decision for us. And
big decision.
And big decision, big risk, you know. So, but we also need to be empathy. That's another thing that we're learning, that some people it will took more time to learning and get it about it.
Yeah.
But we're exciting and ready. We always say it. We're helping them. We're helping them in our way, educating people. Is like a big responsibility for our country, and most of the people in El Salvador, they took us as a reference, you know, because we were the first one starting this and contact us every day. How I say, we're willing to help companies, normal people. If they call us and they ask and they want our advice, we're ready to help, because this is when a bit can teach you that it's not about you.
Right.
It's about everyone. So we're ready to share And we say, like, if there is someone that want to start something similar in any place, they just can call us, contact us. And if our work is going to help to make easy for them, let's do it.
And I know you mean that, but as you're saying that, in my mind, I'm thinking like someday in the future, I'm going to turn on the TV or watch on YouTube, and the president's going to be putting like a medal around your neck, and I'm going to be like, hey, it's the boys, you know, they're out there.
Or maybe I'm going to be the president.
Maybe. Jorge, last words before we close down?
Mhm.
You got anything you want to sign off on and say? Or do you guys want to direct people anywhere, like, you know, visit here, do whatever?
No, only we want to explain like Bitcoin Beach. It's a team for the 4 guys, Mike, Roman, Irvin, and me. We are the dreamers who always want to give hope for the rest of the world. So companies come if we can help and support, it's good, but our plan, how Chimbera say, just we're gonna just help and how more people can include to using Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And we are a group of friends, and we always want to receive more friends, forgive, help in different community, and we always go for different community for help, support, and give some tool for the future.
Yeah.
I think like back to the whole story we explained, we only want to give more opportunity for the new generation.
Yeah.
Money is important, Bitcoin is important, but it's not everything.
Yeah. Well, boys, thank you.
Thank you.
For the work you guys have
it's
done.
moment to the what?
For the work you guys have done in Zante, for the work you guys have done for humanity because of what this has become. And I guess I'll see you 6 a.m. tomorrow for another run.
These guys, John Bellies.
John Belly. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, John. Guys.